Hey everybody, it's me Logan Bearscat here, and we're just gonna have a simple discussion with Quick Eagle 12.
Hey guys, I'll be Logan's guest for today on this discussion. I don't know what it is. He just called me up. I was like, sure.
There was supposed to be a third person, but stuff happens. He just disappears every now and again. It's depression.
Depression will be missed.
Yeah, he always does this. He just disappears up in the air without a trace.
Yeah, it's been happening a lot lately. But back on topic, what was this discussion you wanted me to talk about with you?
So, what would happen if you became immortal? Like, what would you do?
If I became immortal, what would I do?
Yeah,
Um, if I became an immortal, I would probably figure out a way to abuse the fact that I couldn't die and use that in a way so that I could help people out, or get so depressed of not having anything to look forward to. Because at some point when you're immortal, you just you outlive everybody and everything. You don't have anything else. Everybody is gone at a certain point, and then you run out of things to do. So it'll be kind of sad.
I was actually planning to pull that up and later on in the discussion, saying things like you'll eventually outlive your loved ones, like even your own family, so they'll all be dead. So you'll be in a state of depression, and you wouldn't know what you would do with yourselves because your parents, your sisters, your brothers, they're all dead.
Can't forget about your pets, but yeah, it would be kind of really sad because you wouldn't have anybody else. I mean, you could find more people, but they would also, you would outlive them
Eventually
as
die.
well.
Yeah, there's no end.
You could find distractions, and you could theoretically make the world a better place since you can't die, and you can do what you can
Me
to make
personally,
everyone's
I
life
would
better.
instantly try to find ways to kill myself. Even if it means dealing with the devil, I'll find a way.
That's it's a pretty hard commitment there, but it's also an understandable one, since
Knowing that
depression is a
eventually I'll
serious
be
problem.
in a state of depression due to the fact I'll be all alone, can't talk to anyone because I'll know they'll eventually die, and I could be in another, make this whole depression thing worse. So, in a sense, I think immortality is kind of a joke, really, because of how eventually you'll just outlive everyone and you'll be depressed. It's not as good as everyone thinks. It's not a bless. It's a curse. It's a burden. You don't want it.
I mean, you're right there, but I have a question for you that I just instantly thought of. Would you spend your time as an immortal person figuring out a way to make other people immortal? Would you force them to be immortal and live the curse with you, or would you just not do it?
No, I don't want people to feel my pain. I would only do that maybe if they're the worst of the worst people, like they're just the worst murderers out there.
So, like a divine punishment.
Sort of, but I would rather have them put in a state where they can't remember who they are or their past, so they can always be in a state of hell of wondering who the hell they are.
That's a pretty understandable punishment for people who murdered other people or did other bad things of such sorts.
Of course, there are exceptions to who I want to have this happen to. Like, if, for instance, if you killed someone because they were about to kill you, I'm not gonna put blood on your hands and give you that punishment. No, you're free. You can go. You're okay. At that point.
Mm. That is a noble thing to say. Very humble.
And also, if you killed someone because you pretty much had it happen to you at gunpoint too, again, understandable, and I will let that slide. I'll feel bad for you even.
So, just because of the circumstances, your opinion would change, is what you're saying.
Yeah, think of me as I'll like be the judge, jury, and executioner to murderers if I had that ability.
That seems like a good thing, or maybe not, because maybe somebody who was falsely accused of said murders. But yeah, that does seem like something you could do. But then again, what else are you gonna do with your immortal time of being not dying?
I can also help like other families who lost someone like unfairly, and if they're still lingering to the earth, if I have that ability, I would like bring them back to fully life.
Yeah, that seems like a good thing to do as well.
But if they're completely past, then clearly I won't have the ability because at that point that's just God's doing, and I can't do anything about that.
That is also very true. If we're going off of this, being immortal, other than just getting depressed after so long, what would you do? Would you help the world? Would you see yourself become the villain, or what?
Me personally, I would kind of consider myself like a neutral person. Like I go off like moral laws of human, but in the sense of doing the right thing.
Yeah, I'd probably see myself doing that too, but it might get to the point that I maybe go crazy and become evil, having after lived an immortal lifespan of immortality of never ever dying and living forever.
I don't think that's how insanity works. Personally, I think you need to go through like a high amount of stress to go evil like that. But hey, that's just being immortal. Yeah, I would think I would just crash into the depression and be like completely sad and cry and put myself to sleep so badly.
I mean, I could see the stress because you just watched everybody who you ever loved die, and you can't do anything about it because you're immortal and you can't join them. So I could see that happening. But on a brighter note, would you help the people of the world? Would you do anything good with your immortal time? Would you help other people learn the immortality way so they don't get hurt or injured or healed in any way?
No, not really, because due to the fact that there are literally shows out there that have this discussion prove the fact that immortality is like a very, very serious thing, and it's actually not as good as it seems.
That is true, but
Humanity already knows this.
yeah, but you could theoretically, over the amount of time that you are, get an incredible amount of wisdom and intelligence that you'd be able to solve a lot of problems, though. You could dedicate your life to studying or helping others. Well, life, per se, is, your entire time that you can, at least.
You mean like remove organ by organ to help those in need of organs?
Would that work? Would you regenerate your organs, or would you just not have any organs?
Of course, dude.
Living?
Of course, you are immortal. How else do you survive a head cut?
I mean, some immortality can be defeated in some ways. But
you mean like the doctor? Yeah, because I totally killed him.
plot. But yeah, you are right. You are right.
With his whole, I could still die before my regeneration process is complete. Yeah, like that actually worked.
Yeah, I mean, but would you, if you think about it, what if taking out your organs made the person that you gave your organs to become immortal, but you didn't know it?
Oh, you're thinking of some disease stuff. I did not even think of that. Is that possible?
I mean, since your organs are regrowing, that is possible since we're talking on a theoretical sense.
Wait, does that mean if I ingest my blood into everyone, would that make them immortal?
Maybe, but also, if you take out your organ and just leave it, would it grow into yourself? Would it become another version of you? or to just be there.
I take back what I would say about immortality. I think it might actually work now. Maybe if I run experiments, just maybe, I could develop a way to make my family immortal. And we could all be living happily together forever. At that point now.
Yeah, that could work. That could very much work, and you could make your entire family immortal, but would they want that, though?
I don't know, but here's the thing though. It's immortality. And if we take away the part of immortality that sucks, is it that bad?
I'm. It, it's a double-edged sword here, because there are a lot of benefits, but there are also many cons as well. You can go either way with this, really.
And I could also, and if this works and my tests work, I could do this to animals, which means world hunger would never be a thing anymore. If you think about it, ever living bacon.
Ever living bacon, yes. I mean, you could
And
also
maybe even some vegetarians will go
pets.
back to being like meat eaters because of the fact that, well, if we're all immortal, why not?
You're right, but you could also make your pets immortal if you think about it.
Yes, you've unlocked a very, very deep thing about immortality that I don't think anyone has ever known about, because no one has even thought of that, and it could be possible. I don't know.
Anything is possible with time and immortality.
We could also just be a couple of idiots who do not fully know what immortality is.
That also works out.
I just picture someone being an angry commenter like, immortality doesn't work like a disease.
That could also very much be true, but to this day, at least, on August 13th of 2018, there are no known reported cases for immortality. I cannot wish they're gone.
I have been there on several days.
Well, at least that's how far we've known it for now. Maybe there is somewhere. Supposedly jellyfish have lived ever since they have become, jellyfish. They apparently live forever.
I mean, if we become immortal tomorrow, we do have the technology to make some form of serum if it is contagious through ingestion of said person's DNA.
That is true.
But how will it work is the situation. We're entering a very gray area of immortality no one has even considered.
That is true. But if you think about it, maybe if it is contagious and you give everybody mortality, then what's there to do? At some point, you'll run out of things to do, items to create. You'll have all the time in the world, but all the time in the world is nothing. You've already done everything that you possibly can.
That's where the wisdom comes in. You can almost invent anything too, with your wisdom.
That is true. You could also dedicate your time to learning every possible languages, or uncovering unearthed history or unknown or unsolved mysteries. You could even theoretically invent a way to go back in time. Since you're immortal, you can't die, per se.
I kind of see the problem of ingesting everyone with the serum, and that would be overpopulating the Earth where there's just no more space. However, with our wisdom, we could probably build like really fast rockets and find habitable little planets with no life on them.
I mean, that is true. Going light speed, since you're immortal, won't kill you anymore, if you think about it.
Like, there's been theories on ways to travel light speed, but it's safe to do so.
I mean, we don't know that for sure. We just know that light is able to travel at light speed.
But now we don't even have to care about really physical safety, except for, floating off into space.
because you're immortal. It's ingenious.
I never thought of adding the fact of it possibly being a like germinal like intestinal disease that one could have for immortality. I never thought of it like that. Cells gotta like be able to regenerate fast. That's that one way, right?
I mean, that is true. Could be a disease, or it couldn't be a disease. It can or cannot. It may or may not. You may just be regular mortality bestowed by some random genetical pull, or it can be the disease, or bestowed upon you by some divine figure of sorts.
That we can find a way to make it contagious to have everyone be immortal, but be young so you're not in pain.
I mean, you do have all the time in the world.
And if you think about it, all pain will regenerate to a healthy form for you.
This is very much true.
For instance, my dad has severe back pain. That could like instantly regenerate with the moment he becomes immortal.
Yeah, because you could get your joints to rejuvenate and become good again, because it just decays over time. It's cartilage of sorts.
We are going really deep into the gray zone of immortality that no one has ever considered.
I mean, it is a giant rabbit hole. If you think about it, everything's a rabbit hole the deeper and deeper you go into it, because there's no clear answer, because we haven't seen it yet.
What I thought was an easy discussion became a huge, huge opening to so many people. I hope YouTube puts this on their homepage.
That is a very big possibility, actually, but that requires lots of certain things to factor in. But again, maybe it has been discussed, and maybe people really want to discuss immortality. It's all very much possible.
Here's another question. Has anyone else considered this?
I mean, possibly it's most likely that it's been considered by other people, but maybe they didn't record it down on paper or record it via audio means. But it's possible people have already discussed this. It's probably already been done. Maybe. But it's never been probably taken seriously since immortality is, for us at least, out of grasp for now. It's kind of hard to achieve never dying since we're fragile beings with a short lifespan of 100-ish years, if not 79, which lead to organ failures because after a certain point of time, your cells stop replicating themselves because the stem cell has reached its finite end. Because your body produces stem cells which have a long bit of thing that when they replicate, they cut it in half, and it keeps on cutting in half until there's no more, which then your organs stop properly rejuvenating themselves. At least that's what I got from my multiple teachers in this.
I'm just processing the fact that we are going this deep into immortality. Because holy crap, this is a lot to take in.
I mean, it's kind of like thinking about what happens when you die, or if you see anything at all when you die. So we haven't recorded it, and just thinking about such a morbid thought creates diverse emotions in us. But then again, maybe people watching this, or people reading this, or seeing it, are like, yeah, we've already talked about this, it's nothing much to digest. But for you and me, at least, we haven't delved this quote-unquote deep into this mortality discussion, per se.
I mean, I just know the basics, like, you cannot die, but everyone else around you can. I never thought it could be, like, you could make it to where no one else dies.
Yeah, you could do that. It's a possibility because of science, which is very much changing, which is always improving itself. At least I want to believe so.
Well, I wasn't adding in the science factor. I wasn't saying like, oh, a scientist comes up to you and makes you immortal. No, I was making it like semi-magical or biblical, even if it, in that matter, like it could have been God or just a magician or someone.
Yeah, that's another way to
That's
think
what
about it.
I'm doing. That's what I was doing. I never thought of taking the science into it and applying it to everyone else. Holy crud!
That is a very different way of thinking that you could apply to the situation as well.
I will admit, this discussion really opened my mind to immortality. I didn't even think any of this could have been possible. I didn't even consider it. This is the first time I have ever heard of anything so genius. I gotta admit, this was a genius discussion. Holy crap, I never thought. Wow.
Well, I'll leave you to digest everything that you've just heard, and
Yeah,
thanks for
yeah,
inviting me along for this
let's,
discussion.
let's end the video here. Bye everyone, hope you see you in the next one. Jesus.